One, five, four, three, two, one. Good evening, good Friday evening, everybody. I am Jones Harwell, Lisa Jones Harwell. This is Unapologetic Features, Journeys with Jones Harwell. And tonight's guest is my sister friend, E. Real Talk with E.V.E. Gomez. Hey, Eve, welcome back to
Woohoo!
the show.
Hey, Sister Lisa, how are you? It's good to be back with you, and thank you for inviting me to come back. I'm usually on the other side where you are, and so of course this is an honor to be here with you. Thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. I know you have had a lot going on since our last conversation, but for new guests that did not see the first show, give us a little bit about you professionally and personally.
Okay, how much time do we have?
Oh, we got a lot of time.
First of all, let me ask, how much time do I have so I know how quick to cut things, right?
Right.
Well, first of all,
Tell it all.
yeah, my name is Eve Gomez, and I am originally from Mexico. Um, I came to this country in the 70s as a very young girl. I'm telling my age, and I'm okay with that, right? If you want to do your math, it's all good. And so I was raised in Gary, Indiana, where the Jackson Five were born and raised. Um, my heart is still there. I don't live far from there, but my heart will always stay in Gary, Indiana, right? And so, as a young little girl, I was always eager to be always in front, always in the front row because I didn't like getting distracted. So I always seemed to be that eager to always be ahead, not ahead of people, but be ahead as in front, sitting on the front row, um, sitting in the front row in the classroom, in an auditorium, and with the only exception of the movies, right? I do not want to sit in the front row. That is too big in the front of me, that screen, right?
You
So fast
strain your
forward,
neck trying to do that.
right? I'd be like this, right? So fast forward, I grew up with seven other siblings. I am second to the youngest. I have a twin brother named Adam. So my mom thought it was nice to name us Adam and Eve. He was born first and I was born second. So it just like in the Bible in Genesis, Adam was first and then Eve, right? Um,
Right.
that was cute and I was a bit teased by that, but that's okay. I can handle it. And fast forward, I'm a single mom. I was married for 10 years and I have two kids. They're adults now. But for the last 20 plus years, I've been in the forefront advocating and as an activist as well, talking about what is right and civil rights and human rights. And I've done the protests, I've done the marches, I've done the speaking. I speak as well. Never had a shy bone in my body, at least I don't think, because I was always around adults as a kid. My first job, I was 15, 16, and everybody was 25 years plus.
Wow.
So used to hanging around adults.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, I have um, four, because there's eight of us, so I have five other siblings older than me. So the one my age and one younger, 3 years younger. So I was always around older people and or of age, not older, but um, I went to a high school, a private high school, and shout out to my 59ers if they're watching, right? Um,
Right.
And my freshman year, my dad took care of that. I was the last one in the home, the last girl in the home. There was two other sisters, and we had a family friend that told my dad, you know what, your daughter should go to the school where I take my daughters, and we can carpool because they live 2 blocks away from us. And so it all was great. I loved it. It was my first encounter of true diversity. Lisa, let me tell you, I saw and experienced and became friends with people from India, from the Philippines, Filipinos, Germans, Russians. The exchange students, one came from Germany, three came from Spain. I became friends with them. You know, Puerto Ricans, Mexicans, Caucasians, Polish. I mean, that was a beautiful experience and I loved it, right? And so fast forward, there was a huge layoff at work. My dad says, well, Eve, I don't know what to do, but I'm not going to be able to afford, paying your tuition. Obviously, back then, what you used to be, now it's nothing. But back then, what it was still a lot, right?
Right. Right.
So I said, let me get myself a job. Yeah, that summer of our freshman year going into sophomore year, the whole entire family pretty much worked, with the exception of my sisters and my oldest brother. We worked in the farm in Crown Point.
Mm.
That farm still exists, but only a very small portion of it. Now there's buildings and hospitals and whatnot. Purdue University were built on that land that I used to walk on, pick vegetables from. And after that, I was like, okay, I gotta work so that I can pay my tuition. So I picked up a telemarketing job and cold calls. So I have the gift of speaking. I have the gift of talking to people, more so than the gift again, because I don't just talk to talk, to help change lives, to help encourage
Right.
and motivate people. That's what I do. And so that was what paid my high school. Not, no, I'm not talking about college. I'm talking about high school. So you don't get a lot of that. Back then, you
Don't.
didn't get kids to pay their high school, you know?
Well, I think we came from a generation different. My parents divorced when I was 10. And so I knew, that seeing my mom living with her and then living with my father, I kind of knew in not a direct way, but an indirect way, what we had and what we didn't have by what was in the house. And
Mm-hmm,
so,
mm-hmm,
that ability to help our parents because you're trying to make it, you're trying to survive,
mm-hmm,
and I
mm-hmm.
think you and I both come from a very similar thread that we are just survivors. We're going to do, we're
Yes.
going to find those
Mhm.
avenues to help people and then still make it out there.
Right, right. And survival at its best, 120%, truly, truly true. That speaks volume. Because after I got divorced, I had to raise my kids and moved back home to Gary for a year. That wasn't the best, but that was the only thing I could do, right? I ended up losing everything. And so there's that survival mode again, right?
Hmm.
Taking two kids.
Hmm.
And being in Gary isn't the greatest place, for my kids because they were coming from private school, right? But it only was I was only there for a year. I bought my brother's car and I said, hey, as long as I got transportation, I'm going to work
Hello.
until I can get out of here, right? No offense to my parents or anything. It's just I know that it was hard with my dad and two kids running around. My dad just wasn't having it, so it
Right.
wasn't to me. There was a challenge there, but we came that moved out and was working and working and did mortgage consulting for 12 years. So I've been like pretty much on commission and self-employed almost all my life, with the exception of the telemarketing business to
Hmm.
support my high school, right? And American Bar Association, I work with attorneys, and now I work with attorneys as an interpreter. I have my own interpreting business. I'm self-employed freelancer, and I also do credit restoration, and I'm a life insurance agent offering living benefits, and it all ties in into helping people. I've served in several boards for the last 20 plus years. I would call myself an educator by default. I'm not a teacher, but I'm educating as always. 10 plus years been on the radio, bilingual talk show, Nuestra Comunidad NWI for Northwest Indiana. Shout out to those that watch it. We've been on 10 plus years, right? And I had my own show, Real Talk with E.V.E. and All About You with E.V.E. and then Sound Off with E.V.E. for 8 years. That lasted that long, and now I have a podcast on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, all those platforms, and that's moments of inspiration and motivation with EVE, and those exactly what that is: moments, 6 minutes.
Yes.
10 minutes, those moments to inspire people, to motivate people. So, as a child, Lisa, I have been a self motivator. I had no
Mhm.
choice but to do that. You see, that's the choice I made to say, well, my parents don't speak English. They're not going to encourage me when they can't understand the words, they can't understand the language fully. The parent teacher meetings, totally not the same. They weren't there. And I don't blame them. My dad worked all three shifts. My mom was a homemaker taking care of 8 kids, right? So I had to motivate myself. I had to do it for me. I remember having to get up my older siblings to get to go to school. Come on, let's go. It's time to wake up. Let's go. I would even help them with some of their homework. I'm not the smartest, but somehow I was able to help them, or needed to help them. And I
Yeah.
was interpreting for my parents and my older siblings. And I do it professionally. I've been doing it for 12 plus years professionally because there's a need So English is my second language. Spanish happens to be my first. Buenas tardes, ¿cómo están todos ustedes? And I can easily go back and forth from one to the other because I've been doing this for years. And you got to have a good ear, Lisa. When you're an interpreter and you're in
Yes.
court, you got to have a good ear because you have to listen. And listening is a skill that not everybody has conquered, that could use some practice. Many people hear you, but they don't listen, right?
Right.
And it's a skill that I would say I've mastered,
Hmm.
um, especially in when I'm in that field of interpreting. You have to be able to hear everything word for word, verbatim. You become that person. So I do say I'm the voice of the Latino. I'm the voice to those that don't speak English, so that they are understood and they understand what is being said in the English language. And so um, my podcast is going, this Mother's Day was a year. Um,
Hmm.
Now, Real Talk with E.V.E is coming on, going to Roku and Amazon. And, it's about solutions. Many people are
Exactly.
looking for profit.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like,
And,
what
you
about
know,
the solutions?
yeah, one of the good things, that you and I both, you've been in media more so than I have, but uh, I I would like to say I spent the majority of my career um, as in customer service. I've always done operational work in IT, but customer service, I've always been in that 24/7, 365 mode
I hear you.
most of
I
my
hear you.
career.
Yes.
And customer service and working with customers and working with people and understanding people is a big part of our job, being able
Hmm.
to have that communication skill. So I get that, thoroughly and I enjoy it. It's one of the things that I enjoy, that one on one, because if you can understand somebody's problem or you take the time just to spend
Hmm.
5 minutes, you're building relationships there, you're building understanding there, and then you can move and go any direction from that point on. But
Hmm.
what I'd like to do, because I know you had a couple of new things, you've got your new TV show coming out,
Yes.
and we're going to talk about Eve Gomez Enterprise, which is your business, and you've talked about some of the things under your business, but in relationship to your TV show, hey,
That's a really exciting thing. And that's just the beginning. Oh my gosh, what God has in store for me is huge. That I am preparing. He says, be ready, and I am preparing. And as I was on my walk, sorry if I'm like, I'm feeling it because I had a walk 3.7 something miles and it was 90 degrees out there and the sun was saying hello to me. And so I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it,
we didn't
right?
have that today. We had rain, rain, rain
Oh
all
my
day.
God,
But
we had,
even in the rain, I came up with a hashtag, believe it or not, rainy day, sunny day, any day. I had my little
hey, yes,
Starbucks this morning and
there
all
you go.
kind of Starbucks. So look
Yeah.
out, you guys. That's going to be a content on my page
That's
next
right, right. Yeah,
sometime.
and I like that hashtag because it says that no matter what kind of day you're having, as far as the temperature is concerned, it's how you
Exactly.
make of what you make of it, what you really, really.
Exactly. 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 So, in relations to your TV show, I saw and I peeped. You've got some nice goodies you're going to be giving away too. What happened with that?
Look at that! They're right next to me. Look at that! Hey, real talk with me. I really love this tumbler. You gotta have it, guys. You
Oh,
gotta
that's beautiful.
love it, love it, love it. And of course, this pandemic, in some places, we still must wear this.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And now it's hot, so guess what? I'm gonna wear my chain.
Beautiful.
Yes, yes. And I thank you for that. I can't take credit
Ah,
for everything.
and I can't even
Um,
take
yeah,
credit for the idea, but I'll give the shout out to my sister friend, my spiritual uh, minister,
yeah,
advisor, godmother to my son, El Chanel. She gave me the where's your t-shirt line.
right. Al Chanel, thank you so
She's been
much.
my accountability partner for more than 20 years, and I
Wow, that's
tell you,
good.
we bounce
Awesome,
stuff
awesome,
off of each other, and I cannot wait. We're
awesome.
talking about you today, but I cannot wait, and I got to make that connection with her as well. And one of our guests that's listening in, Jackie Sams, as well.
Woo-hoo, Sister
Um,
Jackie.
to-
Love you,
yeah,
miss
hi,
you.
Jackie. And for what she has coming up. And I'm going to let her tell that. But I was one of the interviewees for one of her first shows, and I'm really excited to see that come out. So, ladies, get ready. We're
Awesome.
coming.
Get ready. Stay ready. Stay ready. Stay ready. Yeah.
Yes.
So Real Talk with EVE, I've been using that hashtag for many years. Hashtag Real Talk with EVE because I keep it real, and I prefer someone to keep it real with me. Be on oneness with yourself first,
Mhm.
and know that truth. Be true to yourself. And so Real Talk with EVE was born out of being real, be true to yourself. And I know that some people may not like what I say. I don't say what you want to hear. I say what you need to hear. And that comes from the Holy Spirit. Just like earlier, I just got off WLTH radio, 5 o'clock show. And
Mhm.
I don't know what happened, but I was on fire from my walk, literally, because it was 90 something degrees, right? But I was on fire with the Holy Spirit. And I went live. And then I was, still hot from my walk because I did live while I was walking. And I had just walked in just enough time to cool down for a minute, get on the radio, and I was just, my spirit just, bam, was on fire. My brother's like, Eve, are you upset? I said, no, man, the Holy Spirit took over me. It may sound like that, but I was on fire. I was on fire with the Spirit and just speaking real,
Mhm.
know that the truth hurts people. And I'd rather you tell me the truth. I often say I respect my enemy more so for telling me the truth than for my friend lying to me.
Yes, and people, I think we've gotten away from, or it's well, it's like I guess a 60-40 or 50-50, where we've got a group of people that are willing to sit down and say, "Let's have a conversation." You know,
Mhm.
like you said, I may not like what you say, but I'm taking the time to listen to your point of view and examine what you have to tell me, and by hopefully vice versa goes to where we've just got these people that are just so disconnect that
Mm.
don't want to hear it at all, and just like so close.
They're in denial. They're in true denial with themselves, and it's not denial river, it's denial, meaning they just don't want to hear it because, and later down the line, they're going to figure it out. Gee, she was right. It's my pride that I just didn't want to swallow
Hmm.
it and say, you know what, Lisa, you're absolutely right. Thank you for reminding me. Thank you for telling me that. Thank you for telling me that there was something weird about me on my face that I didn't want to see it.
Hmm.
And what I mean weird, as in, I have some friends who say, well, my friends don't tell me that. You're the only one. I said, because I'm probably the only one that really cares more about you. That's why I'm telling you the truth.
Yes,
Why not? Only to help you grow, only to help you improve yourself and be a better version of yourself.
exactly, exactly,
I always say if you don't know
exactly,
better, you won't do better. That's for sure. And I
exactly.
don't care what anybody says, Lisa, that oh they know better. No, if they knew better, they would do better.
They do.
Otherwise, Jesus Christ would not have said on the cross, "Forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do." He didn't say, "Oh yeah, you know better. You're 66 years old. You know better." No, he said, "Forgive them, for they know not what they do." So
Yes,
he said it best. Okay, it came out of his mouth first. So
yes, yes, indeed.
if you don't know Christ, then you don't know better.
Hello,
So,
hello.
so,
The beginning and the end and the middle and everything in between. Just
amen to that.
encompassed. Omni, as my girlfriend would say.
Yeah,
Omni, omni,
that's right.
omni in everything, every
Yes.
language, every
Mm-hmm.
culture. Yes,
Yes.
indeed.
And speaking of language and culture, in my show Real Talk with EVE, I'm
Mhm.
bringing solutions to the show. The experts, the wherewithal, those that have been there, done that, because there's people that are in the dark, but they're doing great things, and no one has brought them to the light so that they too can shine. We should toot our own horn, but let's help celebrate someone else's success. Let's help celebrate the person that does not feel big, that doesn't feel good about themselves, but they're out there working it. They're out there doing it. They're out there helping people. They're volunteering. They're the ones that are in the back side and the back door, back room, lights turned off, but they're working it, they're doing it. So, that's why it's real talk, because I want you to see what others are doing to make a difference. Instead of just sitting, being complacent and complaining, they are actually bringing the
Yeah.
solutions to the table. The news, the media, everybody in meetings, they all talk about the problems. Well, let's talk about, we know the
From a
problem, so what can we do
solution.
with it? What is the solution? We know the problem. Now, can we talk about the
Mhm.
solution? Don't waste my time. We already know the problem. What are we going to do about the problem?
Right.
So yeah,
Right.
that has been one thing that I love to do, even Nuestra Comunidad, is bring solutions to the table. I
Where
used
can
to
people where can people see that show on? What
Okay, so
platform?
that show is on WLTH1370.com. We do have our Facebook page, Nuestra, Nuestra, Comunidad, Comunidad, NWI for Northwest Indiana. And the whole thing means our community, Northwest Indiana. But we are beyond Northwest Indiana because we also go live on our Facebook. We have a YouTube channel, Nuestra Comunidad NWI. And, I'm the one that manages all the marketing, all the media, social media. There's a lot of multitasking involved, a lot. While we're on the show, I'm sharing, I'm encouraging, I'm looking at responding to text, to messages while we're on live. And we're on 92.7 FM and 1370 AM on the local radio band. People still listen to us in their car, and some people still have radios in their homes. But thank goodness for technology that we're also streaming live every Friday at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, and on Saturdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And of course, real soon on Roku, Real Talk with E.V.E. And of course, we'll share that on another platform and here as well with Sister Lisa.
Okay. Yeah.
Um,
So I
yeah,
want to put the information in the comments so people will know where to find you at the end of our
wonderful.
show. And your podcast is Moments with E.V.E.
Moments of inspiration and motivation with E.V.E.
Okay.
Yes. Easier, just Google my name, Eve Gomez.
Okay.
And you can find all the platforms. I'm blessed to
We
say,
know some people like to read, and we want them to read the comments and leave comments
yes,
because that
yes,
helps
most
us.
definitely. Most definitely it does. And follow us, subscribe, support us. I am a huge supporter of so many people, and it just comes natural from my heart. I often don't get to talk about me unless someone's interviewing me. And when I talk to others, they always want to make it about themselves. So I just, enough about me. I don't even talk about me. Okay, I'll just listen. I'll hear you. Fine, kudos. Let's rah rah each other. Lift each other up. But they're still in communities of crabs in the bucket mentality. You know who you are. You still have those crabs in the bucket mentality in these communities. And I get more support from those that are not Latino.
That's normally the case.
And that's okay with me. I'm gonna love everybody anyway. As I always say, don't hate, appreciate. And while you're hating, I'm enjoying life. So come
Hello, hello. And
let's
somebody said something very introspective, and I don't know what I'm saying here, but I do know what I'm saying here. That sometimes it's often the stranger
yes,
that will help you
yes, indeed.
go
I've seen
further and go higher.
yes. That is so true. And you know what? It's okay. We all have our day and we all have our moments of feeling some kind of way.
Hmm.
And you know what? We wake up. We wake up and we mature. We grow up. We get off the bottle. Okay? We grow up. Age is only a number and you're only as old as you feel, but maturity says so much more along with wisdom. I'd rather have more wisdom than just knowledge.
Woo! That's a hashtag.
Yes. I'm going to replay it so I can write it. I'd rather
for,
have more
for,
wisdom than
yeah.
knowledge.
For
Okay.
everybody who's listening to us that don't get it, when you've got two people up here that are media and we're always looking for content and hashtags because hey, that's
Yeah.
how you stay relevant. That's how people get involved and get engaged. and it's just really, really, really good. Now you have another special project that's coming up. I don't know if you want to talk about it.
Yeah, it'll actually kind of enforce it and give me that push. Come on,
I'm
EVE.
I'm
Come on.
gently
Let's
pushing. I'm
do it.
gently pushing.
Well, you are pushing and you are indeed right. Push, push, pray until something happens. Push.
Yes.
Okay.
Yay.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah. I have an anthology before, and that's Dear Dad. I was part of co-author of the book Dear Dad, and that was a letter to our fathers, and that's where I started speaking truth about my life. But it was a letter to my father, and he'd already gone with the Lord once that book was launched. And of course, we have what the book we're currently got about to launch, right?
Yes.
Grand
Yes.
Shark Volume 2. Hey,
Yes. Yes.
I'm
Coming soon. Coming soon. Coming soon. End of the month, hopefully. Coming soon. Coming soon. Both you and I
coming
are
soon.
contributing authors. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. And of course, my autobiography is coming up soon as well. That is to be launched in the month of July, Lord willing. Um, and that is like a self-help book. I'm a warrior. I'm a bold woman. I'm a Proverbs 31 woman. I know who I am and whose I am, and I'm not being braggadocious. I'm not speaking with a chip on the shoulder. I'm being humble in telling you that it takes a lot of work. I have worked in the forefront, behind the scenes, and all that to help people. I get calls all the time from people that don't speak the language but need some encouragement, need some guidance. And that's the things that many people do not see, that I spend a lot of time in mentoring and shaping women that have been beaten, battered, domestic violence, manipulated. And they coming in and they're coming in, and this is year after year of mentoring and pouring over and speaking life over them. This is something that I do as a passion, to speak life over them, and not only Spanish speaking women, but English, English speaking women, men. Some men are broken. We're all broken. As I always say, broken crayons still color. So come on, people. You
And,
can still,
yes.
okay, you can still live life.
Yeah.
I don't look like what I've been through, and I'm going to always say that, because if you only knew what I've been through, you'll know that I will tell you I understand you.
Yeah.
I
And what I love about you in the short time, well, no, we've known each other now a year.
2 years now, or a
Yeah,
year,
can you
something
believe
like
it?
that.
It's been a year. But what I love about you is because your passion for giving and for advocating for people just doesn't stop um, with domestic abuse. You've been to
Uh-huh.
prisons. You've been homeless.
Yes,
You've been working with
yes,
children.
yes.
You just encompassed the community as a person behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, on the sidelines, standing by them. Is just amazing and remarkable, your resilience that you
Thank
have
you.
for helping people, because a lot of times I know my mother was not a social worker, but she was a social worker. She
Right.
worked
People ask
for
me, "Are you
a
a social worker?"
community. hmm She worked for a community action program that was part of in the state of Texas, and she managed a whole county. Okay, and the county, I take that back. She managed six counties, six
Mhm.
surrounding county, and the six surrounding counties. And a lot of times when I would go home, I would just tell her, where does she get that still resolve from? And she said, you just have to stand firm on your word. You have to stand firm in prayer. And you know those people who really need to be helped, and those people who are trying to get over to the system, you eventually learn who they are, but you still kind of work around them and get them and mold them and try to move them in the right direction that they can, lift themselves up. And she did weatherization. So she was in their homes, and some of them didn't have roofs, some of them in Texas, you have to have air conditioning. There is no such thing
Oh
as
my gosh.
an air conditioner
Yes.
in the
You're
window.
talking about
You
heat.
have to have air conditioning. I don't care what
Yeah.
part of the state that you're
Mhm.
in. you know,
You
and
gotta
they,
have it, right?
you know,
Right,
and
right.
she would go in, if they needed new windows or needed new doors, needed flooring, needed, utility help, needed food. They did food drives, and it was just that's where I got it from growing up, just that courage to, and mine was always behind the scenes,
Mhm.
I'll do
Yeah,
it
no,
behind the scenes. I don't need the accolades, let me
you,
help
you,
you out here.
when you have a servant heart, you can't help but to always step up and to the plate and take the initiative to help someone. And I've been delivering food to the homeless people in Chicago under the bridges. I mean, teaching other young people to do that and to have a heart for people.
Mhm.
It just comes natural to me. And would I say that that was a lot of time that I used for people that didn't care to grow? Maybe, but I did my deed. I sowed seed, good seed, and
Good
sometimes you
seed,
sow good seed in bad soil. It just happens, right? And
right?
they'll grow and they'll learn all on their time, on their term. But you did right. You did good. And so being that humanitarian, I have gotten quite a few acknowledgments, awards. And those awards don't make me, don't elevate me. It's just something that the community felt moved to do. I'm a trailblazer, a catalyst, a
Mhm.
warrior at his best with the word. I stand strong. I have a very strong backbone. I had to, because I had to stand up to myself. I had to defend myself from my brothers, from bullies, and I became friends with my bullies. So now I can talk to the youth about them being bullies. They're just victims of circumstances, just as the one is being bullied. They're both victims. They're
Right,
doing this
exactly.
they're doing this out of something that's going on in their lives. And
Mm,
so I became friends with them at a young age. I stood up. That was just survival,
mhm,
defending yourself. I was never a fighter. I'm a lover, not a fighter. I prefer peace and love over fighting. I love unconditionally, and forgiveness comes in easy for me. Was it like that before? No, it was not. It's called work. You work, you work, you work on yourself, you improve, you work on being better, not compete with anybody else, but with
mm,
yourself. And God is just bringing me so many women, and what's also to come. It's a national organization I'll be spearheading to help those women and to help bring resources to communities that don't have them. Northwest Indiana doesn't have many resources to our Spanish speaking
mm,
community, to our women, and we're lacking these resources. And I look around, we don't have a lot of Latino based or Latin based organizations out here in Northwest Indiana. And so I'm here because I have a purpose. And as I was saying earlier on my walk on my Facebook Live, is I empty out every single day, and I want to die empty, because what was given to me was not for me to keep and bury it with me. It was for
yes.
me to share with the world, with those that come across my path. Some come on our path temporarily for a season,
Mhm.
and not to be meant with you forever. So don't get hurt if I don't call you or don't reach out to you. The season is over.
Yeah,
It's
hey,
like, next.
exactly.
Who else are you going to bring, Lord?
That's
Next.
it, that's
And
it. You gotta be open to it. You gotta be open to it. Exactly.
exactly. And don't take it personal, because I need to be obedient as well. There's
Exactly,
nothing to do with
exactly.
you. It had nothing to do with you. Not even about you. But
Now,
because
one of the things
you're gonna take it personal, right? It just
yeah,
happens.
right, right. One of the things I love about you, too, and I think this is a hobby for you, and I hope you take it beyond a hobby,
Okay.
is you share on a daily basis not only an inspirational moment, but you show some incredible aerial shots of the sky,
Yes, that
of
is a business coming.
landmarks, of
Yes.
countryside.
Yes. But
Yes.
there's a business coming in the making. It's called Cloud9. Cloud Cloud9. I have it. It's a hashtag that I use, and those are Cloud9 collection. And it's not just the clouds, but I call it Cloud9 because
Mhm.
it's a good number. And I love taking pictures of God's creation. And many people take for granted or don't even pay attention to it because they're just driving from point A to point B and get back, and that's it. They're
Mm,
just paying attention to where they got to go and not paying attention to their surroundings. And so the Lord has blessed me with doing a lot of driving. I do love to drive, and I drive so much, Lisa. I'm talking, yeah. Can you believe 60,000 miles in 2 years?
woo.
Yeah, that's what I said. But you know what? It allows me to cherish and to treasure the outdoor beauty. And I bring it home. I bring it to you, to those that watch on social media, to see those pictures. I've seen many more people now taking pictures of the clouds in the skies. I started this as soon as
Mm,
social media started. I was already taking pictures. And so that is a gift that I have where I catch something that most people won't catch. I have a sermon coming up. I have to speak and say the right word sermon. I'm not a preacher. I'm a minister. I'm an elder. My faith is so strong, and so as I walk, I see weeds, but there's beauty between those weeds. So that's a sermon coming up. I'm
mm,
alive, and of course, my quicker picker upper moments with E.V.E. that just happened
mhm.
that for years on social media because I capture that person right there, and it's quicker picker upper, just like the Bounty quicker picker upper.
Yes.
What do? It spills and you quickly pick it up and it's clean. There you go. And that's what I do for those moments to encourage and inspire people. And thank you for noticing my photography. I've been taking pictures since I was 10 years old.
I don't observe everything, but some things that I do
So thank
observe,
you.
I pay attention to.
Thank you. And I can't wait to get back to the mountains.
Yeah.
It's just I enjoy when you see with your spiritual eyes, you surprise how much you see.
Oh,
More
yeah.
so than the physical eye, for sure.
Exactly, exactly, exactly. It is always good to talk because we try to talk, at least once a week if we're
Yeah.
not too busy. So this is like catch up moment for us.
Yes, yes,
And
for
it's
sure.
just wonderful because we've got so much, in store and going on, and to be able to take a minute and unwind and catch up and let people know,
Yes,
what we're
thank you.
doing. And,
Thank you.
two media people just sitting here talking about life, real talk, as Eve says. And that's what it is. So, anything else on your plate you got going up? Because I'm going to say that you stay productive. That's the word that our sister, Sim sister Courtney uses. Not busy, productive.
Productive. I always
Yes.
say, don't be busy just being busy, be productive. You know, I love working on having a P kind of day. Sometimes people are like, what's a P kind of day? Well, think about positive, anything that starts with a P. A prayerful,
Mm,
positive, powerful, productive, and prosperous day. Can you say you have those days every day? Work on it.
peace
It could
and
happen. And
peace
peace,
and
and
peace
peace, and
and
peace,
peace.
peace, and have a pure heart, purity.
Oh, yes.
That's just, anything you can think of positive with a P, that's the P kind of day you should have. I always say life is what you make of it, and it's not the action that matters, it's the reaction that does. How you react to what is going on in your life and what is being done to you is what makes it
Hmm.
or breaks it. So you're in control. Many
That's
times
it.
people say, you made me mad. Lisa, you made me so angry. What is that? When someone used to say that, you made me get so upset. I said, oh, so that means I control you? No, you don't control me. I said, you're telling me that I do by allowing me to get to you. So be in control of your emotions because you can do it.
Mm,
It's already in you. Come on, people. Be in
yep.
touch with yourself. Be
That's it.
surprised if you find in you. Greater is he that is in
Exactly.
you than he that is out in this world. And, you know,
Exactly.
mm, don't get me
Exactly.
preaching again.
And it doesn't take but a couple of seconds to walk away too.
That's
That's
it.
the best thing. Even if you
That's it.
just gotta go.
Don't call it weakness. That's strength because it takes strength to stay quiet. Woo.
Mm, yes, it
Bite your
does.
tongue. If they curse you out, ferme la bouche, calla la boca, close your mouth. No, it takes more strength to be
Hmm.
quiet than to lash out. It's so much easier to curse somebody out, to lash out, to get angry, to yell. It's so much easier. It doesn't take a lot of energy. But to stay quiet, it takes wisdom.
Yep,
Okay?
I got it.
Peace, strength, courage. Whew.
I think,
That's
matter of
it.
fact, that tunes into what I had, a hashtag I think I did today, earlier today. I referenced India Ari's song, Strength, Courage, and Wisdom.
That's
Right
right.
on,
That's
right on
right.
that. Yes,
Great
yes,
ingredients to
indeed.
have. Great ingredients. It's just like when you're mixing something in a bowl, or you're doing your favorite meal. You got to
Mhm,
mix those ingredients, right, to make it taste
mhm,
good. Do the same
mhm,
thing for your life. Put in those good ingredients so that you can feel good.
mhm.
So next time you're making up a menu or something, do the same thing with your life. You know,
Right.
just
Sprinkle in
don't
a
bring
little bit
the
of
anger, bring
sunshine, a
the
little bit of peace. Okay.
yes, you are the sunshine. You shine. You have that light in you. I always say,
Mhm,
let the sun shine in you. S-O-N, shine. Let the sun, S-O-N, shine in you. You're in the
mhm.
darkness, but there's a light up in you that just wants to just explode out of you. There's a lot of explosion happening. Let's get
Yes.
out there and destroy. Still fired up. It's okay.
Okay.
I stay fired up. I'm fired up for life. I love my life. I've always been a positive person,
Mhm.
very positive. One professor, he's a state representative out here in Indiana. He publicly said, you're so positive. You're so positive. You turn mud into water. I said, okay, I'll write that. I'll take that. I receive it. God is good. That's all I can
Good
say.
all the time.
So much more, but I stay productive. Some would say, you're so busy. But I say, you know what? Don't answer for me. Reach out to me. I may make time for what you want to ask me to do. Don't
Mhm.
assume because you see me being busy that I may not have the time. And that's one thing that I have as a pet peeve. Don't answer for me. Ask me.
Ooh.
I may say, yes, I'll do it. Yes, I'll make time for it. I don't have time, but I make time. There's 24 hours in the day. And I always,
Mhm.
I wish we can add 4 extra hours, and those 4 hours would be to sleep, right? It's like, how do you do it? Where do you find time? Well, you make time. There's 24 hours. What do you mean? When you're
And when
thinking
it's in,
about it
and
and you're dwelling about it, right? When you're thinking and you're dwelling, how? I've already been there, done that, and back twice. So don't
if
dwell on
it's
it.
important to you,
Do it.
you
Be like,
find the time. If it's important to you, you will find the time. That's what I
well,
always.
here's the thing though, Lisa.
Mhm.
Some people don't know what's important to them. They
Ooh.
waste their time sitting there because they don't know what's important to them
Mm.
because they don't know themselves. But they'll hurry up and know somebody else, make them get up there. But what about you? Hello? What
Yeah.
about you? Are you building your dreams or are you helping somebody else's dream be built? Think
Mhm.
about that, you know?
And as long as you have a breath, as long as
Mm,
you have a thought, you could be bedridden, you can still make a way.
that's right. That's right. That's right.
Still
And
make a
so,
way.
so
Use
true.
those resources that you
Yes,
have. No
yes,
dream
God
is
has
ever
blessed
a
you.
bad dream.
Yes,
Unless
yes.
you,
God has
unless you, and I love the thing that you say, and some other people always say too. The richest people, you say, are in the graveyards.
That's right. The richest location, the richest place is the cemetery. Why? Because people are selfish. They're on their ego and their pride, and on that trip, and that trip goes straight to the cemetery, and all your creativity went down 6 feet under. Your book that you could have created, your invention, your business, all of that down into the 6 feet under with you. That's why I always say I'm going to die empty. I empty out. I pour every day, and I'm going to die empty. So there's nothing left that you have to bury other than my shell, because my spirit shall go on. It will continue to live in a legacy. It will continue that people will remember how I made them feel, not so much what I did, but how they felt.
Yes.
Because in customer service, Lisa, I
Mm-hmm.
can please you. I'm the best host because I've learned customer service since I was 15 years old, and I'm teaching it on how to become better at your customer service. People need that. You need to teach them. They need to teach employees how to have customer service. I make you feel good because
Mm-hmm.
that's something that I thrive for. I
Mm-hmm.
strive for. I live for. How can I make you feel better? Because life is you make it. Some people may say life is terrible, life is bad, life is difficult, life is hard. Life is how you make it. Life is how
Mhm.
you handle what comes your way. You know, they say if they hand you lemons, make some lemonade. Well, I dance in the rain all the time, so because I love dancing.
Mhm.
So I'm always dancing in my storm. I'm soaring above my storm. And was I always like this? No, but was I always liking people or helping people? Yeah, that's just
Yeah.
something that came
Mhm.
natural to me, and I'm going to continue to do it. I don't care what people may say. I'm going to continue to do it because that's just part of me. That's part of my mission.
Yeah. I
Oh,
remember the best way that I finally got customer service actually, and I had been doing it for a while, but my grandmother came home from vacation one year and she was complaining her hip was hurting. And so we took her to the doctor, took her to the doctor, and I think her family doctor had died maybe a year or two prior to that. And so the gentleman was just saying, "Oh, she just pulled a muscle, gave her some muscle relaxer, sent her home, right?" And so she's still in pain, a couple of weeks later, and I'm taking her back. And long story short, they found out that she had pancreatic cancer.
mm,
What changed my philosophy about customer service was that she called to make a doctor's appointment. And then she called me, she says, "I can't get through." And now I'm working IT, and I had been working on programming large phone systems. That's what I did for a living. Okay, so programming all of the features, call forwarding and call pickup and how you could dial out and if you had voicemail or not, if you had auto attendant, please press one and all of those things. And so I'm calling this place for her and it just kept looping. It just kept looping and kept
mm,
looping. And there was no way ever for her to get to a real live body. For
mm,
me, it was two things. First, it was you're not helping your customer. But then for me as an IT person programming phone systems, I was like, that's a problem. So I
right,
always approach every situation as if I was an elderly person
mm,
and how can I assist? How can I help?
right,
And I think that changed my mindset about going forward with helping people. You have to break it down to those simplest things and meet them at their level.
right,
And a
right,
lot of times people don't learn that lesson to do that because we don't teach it.
right, right,
Some people it comes naturally, and then some people just, think, well, it's my way or no way.
right.
No, you
Yeah,
have
yeah,
to meet people where they are and
right,
work with them where they are. Now, if they're open minded and they're willing to make changes on their own, then you've done your job. You've reached that one
exactly.
person.
Exactly. And I've sown into people where they just don't want to get it. They don't want to do the work. And I just said, well, I need to learn from that, not to sow in too long into the person is because I care about the person. I care genuinely
Hmm.
about people, period. It doesn't matter. I never meet a stranger, and I know that I'm worldwide. I'm a well-renowned person, and I know that I'm very popular, very well-known. And I say this humbly, please don't get it twisted. I'm not a chip on my shoulder. I'm not conceited. I'm confident within myself. I know who I am and I know whose I am, but I have a heart for you,
Mm.
for those that are listening, that's watching. And believe it or not, I sometimes give it a couple days. I do have boundaries, and some people get upset that I'm not calling them back right away. I can't do that because people will expect to do that all the time if that
Hmm.
keeps that pattern. And I will not do that. I used to. I will not do that anymore. And I mean well. It's just the fact that I am a single mom. I have three businesses. I'm building, but I'm also a community leader. I sit on several boards. I have meetings. I have Zoom trainings. It's just a lot. While some people are here with a chip on the shoulder getting upset because they didn't hear back from me and they didn't do much of anything in their life for that day, right? So I'm going to love on them anyway. And they'll learn eventually, right?
Yeah, yeah.
They're learning
And
all about
if they really, really, really needed to get a hold of you,
if
hey,
it's an
get back
emergency,
to me in
they're
a
not
couple
gonna
of
do it.
days,
If
send me
it's
a
an
sign.
Right, right. No, I will say that there are some calls that are urgent because
Mhm.
they're in need of
Right,
a resource, and I will take care of those, believe me. But if it's
right.
someone who wants to vent that the woe is me thing, I
It
get
drains
those.
energy. You can't do it all the time.
I won't allow anybody to drain me, Lisa. That I won't. I have a lot of energy in me. I have a lot of strength in me. I will not allow someone to drain me. My discernment kicks in, and so I start praying while that person's talking. I am praying for that spirit in them. I always tell people I help marriages as well. I help relationships, people. I've traveled to go help help marriages that are fighting with flesh. It's not a matter of flesh and blood.
Mm,
It's what's in you. These are spirits. And I always tell people, stop fighting your spouse or your daughter or your son. It's what's in them. Talk to that demon that's in there. Cast it out. I had to do that personally several times to people that I love. And when you realize that it's not the person that is hurting you, it's what's in them that's doing it. Obviously, we know hurt people, and heal people, and empower people, right? But
right, right,
but when
right.
you know better, even if you're hurt, you're not going to hurt somebody else,
Mm.
And it's part of growing, it's part of learning, and it's a process. Life is a never-ending work in progress, and you just got to keep pushing on and keep pressing on, keep moving forward. I often talk when I'm in interviews and other videos that I'm involved with the higher eds.
Mhm.
They ask me these questions, and so I always say, I can fall, but I get back up.
Yeah,
Problem is, you not getting up, and that's when you fail. You don't fail when you fall and get up 100 times, 1,000 times.
that's
You fail
growth.
when you don't get up,
Right. That's growth.
you
Right.
know, and don't give up. Man, I'm telling you, don't
Exactly.
give up.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
the things that you go through or that one goes through is to
Mhm.
become stronger, smarter, making wiser decisions to help somebody else out. God will allow all this stuff that was going on in our lives to make us a better person, to be more understanding and more caring, and to help someone else not have to go through what you've already gone through because it's not even
Mhm.
yours. And I once you realize that, you become that better person. You have more peace within you. I mean, that peace is like unbelievable. How could I be so much at peace when all of this is going on? And I got the pandemic. I got this alleged COVID-19. And I will tell people that was man-made, and I've said it since last year in March, man-made. And now you're finding out, okay, that it was man-made. There's a leak somewhere, right? But nonetheless, I was bedridden for 3 weeks. I had pneumonia. I had COVID-19. But did I let that discourage me to encourage
No,
you?
you sure
No,
didn't.
no, you didn't have a clue that I was
On the
talking
phone texting me, trying to talk, and I'm saying, "Eve, don't talk, just text."
I had a fever for like 2 weeks and wouldn't break. And I had pneumonia. I had COVID pneumonia, and that wasn't the greatest thing to do. But
Mm,
I encouraged myself. I stayed in good spirits, and that what heals
did.
you faster.
You
And I'm
sure
telling
did.
you, it heals you faster when you stay in good
Mhm.
spirits. I was like, "Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus." I was, my daughter's like, "Mom, were you hallucinating or something?" And I kept hearing you go, "Mm-hmm." I said, "Oh, I was, yes, thank you, Lord."
Mhm.
Mhm.
'Cause
I was thanking him.
sometimes all he needs to hear is a hum.
Yes, and you know what? I was thanking him. I said, "Thank you for allowing this to happen. I know it's a greater purpose for what this is happening in me and my body. It's not my spirit, it's just in my body, but I'm going to keep pressing on." Let me tell you, I came back stronger. I was shoveling 12, 14 inches of snow on a 3-car garage driveway, and
Yep.
I'm 5'3". Now, don't tell me what you can't do, because if I can do it, so can you. Somebody needed to hear this, whoever's watching and listening. When I get on the microphone and I'm speaking at a conference or what have you, it just, that spirit just kicks in, and then it's like,
Mhm.
yes. Sometimes we don't know what comes out of us, what comes out of me. And you just, when you let the spirit take over, it's
He
just
gives you the
amazing.
words, and like you said, there's a message for somebody, and they receive it.
Yes, yes, amen. That's the thing. You got to learn to receive. You go to church and you sit there and warm up that chair for what? Receive what you're hearing, what you're listening, and apply it in your life. I
Yeah.
always tell people, Lisa, you can quote scriptures left and right, but if it doesn't show in your life, what good does that do? I can't quote you all the scriptures, but I can show you in my life that I know.
Hello. Hello. Well, thank you so much for coming
Thank
on this
you.
Friday evening.
Yes,
Wrap up again for everybody. I know you said Google your name, but go through the
yes.
list right quick of where people can find you
All
on
right.
social media.
Thank you. And thank you again for bringing me on and for this opportunity. Like I said, I'm usually the one interviewing people from all over the world. But thank you for having me on your show, Miss Lisa, Sister Lisa.
You're welcome.
Um,
And it's anytime we get together. We'll probably get together one or twice again this year before the year
okay.
is out because both of us got projects going on, things
Yes,
to talk about, things
yes,
to inform people about.
yes, yes. And this is only the beginning. I know what's been prophesied over me, and I receive it. And you'll see me in bigger and greater things. And
Yes,
because
ma'am, I know.
because God knows my heart, and the more I'll have, the more people will have. But I am on Twitter. I am on LinkedIn. I am on Snapchat. I am on TikTok. I am on Facebook. I have several accounts on Facebook. My page, my public figure page, Eve Gomez. And what else did I miss? Instagram as well, official Eve G. I'm on that as well. And I'm always encouraging on every platform to live life to the fullest and live today like tomorrow will never come. And
And where
you
can
know,
people find your merchandise?
you can find my merchandise. I don't have my glasses on me. I didn't bring my glasses in with me. Sorry. Ethereal Life Stream. I'm sorry. Ethereal Lifestyle. Is it spring.com? Am I saying this right?
I think so.
Yeah. Ethereal Lifestyle. And Ethereal Lifestyle, you'll see more products coming out. I also have a line coming out, Eve Gomez. I've branded myself. I've been working on it for years. That's learning to brand yourself. And Eve Gomez line is coming out soon as well. Speak those things that are not as though they were. So I'm already speaking it because it's already in the plan. Uh, and they're like, "Wow, Eve, you're doing so much." No, I'm doing what people say. I haven't seen you. Where you been? Where God wants me to. That's where I've been. You know.
That's a good
And
one.
for whom much is given, much is required, people. And I say this humbly, and I love you and I respect you, but you got to learn to love yourself and respect yourself as well. And we see a lot
Yes.
of lacking that self-love and
Yes.
self-respect, and we allow other people to disrespect us, and then there's no boundaries, and then we got abuse, and we can go on about that, but I'm here to motivate and encourage you. And I advocate for the elderly and for our youth. I advocate publicly. When I speak with people from the government, with agencies, I'm always speaking on behalf of the non-English speaking people and those that have disabilities, and for our youth and our elderly, because I've been there with my own two parents. I advocated for them. I was there as their caregiver. So I know what that's like, and I can understand someone going through things. But if I can do
Mhm.
it, so can you. And I hope
Yep.
that this has encouraged someone, Lisa.
Yes.
Thank you again
Thank
for
you.
allowing me on your platform, and you'll be coming on mine as well. And so God is good
God is all the time
all the
and
time.
all
He's
the
good.
time. God
God
is good.
is good. Yeah, thank you so much, and God bless you guys, and may find yourself, because we lose ourselves in relationships sometimes, and find yourself. Do the things that you love. Find your passion, and you'll find your purpose. So,
Yes. And when you're happy with yourself,
that's it.
everything else is icing on the cake.
Yes. Rejoice always. I say rejoice. And have that heart full of joy, peace, love, more than anything. Thank you again.
Thank you, ma'am, for coming on. This is going to conclude
Pleasure.
our show for this Friday. We have been in conversation with Eve Gomez, Real Talk with E.V.E, moments of motivational.
Inspiration and motivation. And I'm seeing my name that you clicked me on real quick as I was about to type the other E. So
Oh,
it's
no.
Eve, but I was going to put in between E.V.E, and that's my name.
Yes.
E, that's an acronym. People ask me, what does it stand for? I said, if it's empowering and encouraging and victorious, that's me. E.V.E.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you again. Appreciate
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you.
Mama.
God
Enjoy
bless
the
you.
rest of your evening.
Most definitely. Thank you.
Ladies
You
and
as well.
gentlemen, I will be, are you going to pop on tomorrow? We've got our signature entrepreneurs and masterminds group that is in Tampa, promoting deposit your dreams into success, or deposit success into your dreams, with Dr. Larry White. I think they're doing a workshop in the morning, and I'm going to be one of the virtual guests
Okay.
on that. Stay tuned to us, and Eve and I will be back promoting Iron Sharpens Iron, Volume
Yeah.
2, Inspired to Achieve, Think, and Grow. We are part of that as visionary authors on that anthology.
Yeah.
Some other plans coming up this summer with that group, and then personally on our own. I'll see you back probably when you get your anthology out
Yes.
and your talk show, and plugging your line of new merchandise as
Thank
well.
you. Yes.
So
Thank you.
thank you, everyone, once again. Join me on Tuesday, June 15th. I'm going to be talking to, and I hope I don't butcher her first name, Miosha Hudson. She is with the American Red Cross here in the Maryland, Virginia, District of Columbia area, and we're going to be talking about sickle cell anemia in the African American community, because that's where it's more dominant, but
Yes.
still it's information for everyone else. It's good to share, and how we can turn that corner in getting our community
Yes.
um, aware and
Yes.
hopefully finding a cure one day.
Yeah, and I encourage people to give stem cells, be a donor to stem cells, be a donor to plasma, and be a blood donor. I'm a blood donor and about to become a plasma donor as well, and
Mm.
that's just to help people, to keep them safe and for them to continue to live on. You know, I'm an
Mm.
organ donor as well, so
Oh, okay.
yeah,
That
so I'll be
could be
all
a
over.
show that we probably should do maybe this fall. Talk about that too, because a
Yeah,
lot of people I think have a fear of that as well.
yeah, no, we can talk about it. And I used to
Hmm.
sit on the board for an organization that deals with it's minority organ tissue transplant education program, and we are educating people on becoming organ donors. And
Okay,
you know, I sat on that board for like 10 years. So it's all about what you can do with what you know to help others.
that's it. And this is why we do Real Talk with EVE, and why Journeys with Jones Harwell is part of a media platform. We are
Yes,
information catalyst, sharing information. What you do with it after we give it to you, that's on you.
right,
We are
right.
providing you the resources and the information to make educated decisions, educated solutions, and empowering.
That's
With
right.
that note, both of us are going to say good night, and thanks for watching.
Peace
Signing
be with you. God bless you.